Welcome, everyone, to episode 103 here on the Proven Knowledge Podcast. This is the Creator Series. Today, I welcomed a New Jersey artist named Mitrae, which is short for Money is the Root of All Evil. I actually got in contact with him through Instagram. Shocker, right? Back in, I believe that was around probably January or February. He submitted his song Moonlight to the Gifted Unorthodox playlist. And he actually ended up winning his matchup for the week and got in the playlist and everything. And I just asked him if he wanted to be on the podcast as well, and he agreed. So I had him on here today. Learned a lot about him. I didn't really know anything about him at the time. We'd only had a few conversations beforehand. But he talked about growing up, in New Jersey, playing instruments, being in the band and school and stuff, and how he went from, wanting to play basketball and football and stuff like that to wanting to be a music artist. He's got his own collective now that he's trying to make into a label and everything eventually and kind of have his own brand going. He talked about his internship at Sloppy Vinyl, which is a local label that I believe he said is in Bloomfield, New Jersey. And he talked about his experience through that and how he's going to kind of apply some things and kind of change some things when he finally gets his own situation going. He has an EP coming out this summer and a lot of other collabs with some of his close friends and everything. I just love his whole message in this episode, though, about, staying true to himself. He's been doubted a few times, whether it was his name or his family history as far as, his whole family being doctors and everything. I thought it was interesting how he brought that up and how, he's just kind of stayed on the path that he knows he should be on, regardless of what anyone told him. And I think that's always something we need to remind ourselves from time to time is just, even when the going gets tough, it's just important to stay true to yourself and really ask yourself, what do you want and why are you doing what you're doing? And as long as it's with the right reasons and with a happy motive, you'll be able to live with yourself. And I think he's doing that, and I'm looking forward to seeing all the things he has coming up in the near future. So without further ado, let's get into the episode. All right, welcome everyone to episode 103 here on the Proven Knowledge Podcast. Today I have a really incredible artist out of the New Jersey area. He goes by Money is the Root of All Evil. How are you, man?
Good. How are you, man?
Great, man. I'm glad to get you on here because I think, how did we connect originally? I think it was through the playlist, right? Like I got Moonlight on the playlist and everything. So
yeah, you reached out to me prior to the song dropping. I dropped a snippet. You told me you like the sound of it and everything. You said let me let you know when it drops. As soon as I dropped it, I let you know. Do it on there. Won the poll thing that you did on Instagram and then connection was made. That's how it was made.
Yeah, it's crazy because I've been doing that now almost a year, like the whole Gifted Unorthodox playlist and everything. And I heard that song, and I was just like, wow, this is great. Like when it dropped and everything, I'm like, I'm glad that we had that discussion about it and got it on there and everything. And it's just an incredible record. We'll get into that in a bit. To start off, we have every guest kind of give a bit of background. How did you get into music? How long have you been doing it? Just simple information for those that might not know you and what you do.
Well, my name is Mitrae, or Money is the Root of All Evil, like he said. I started music in general. I started playing instruments when I was in like 4th, 5th grade. Mm-hmm. I played the alto saxophone, and all the way up until middle school, 8th grade, I played tenor saxophone. I got into writing poetry when I was around in 7th grade. My cousins that lived in my house at the time, they were really big on music, so I was always around music, hearing different types and stuff like that. So high school was really my turning point when I really was just like, let me try it out. I have met a few people that had a basement studio. They really were my first introduction into like recording and hearing it mixed and mastered and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It wasn't very good, but I mean, first introduction. Mm-hmm. Around junior year, I started a group called Chop Boys. They're still around today. It's my boy Sonny, my boy Money, and my cousin King Nappy, and they're all my group. We make music together. We go out to shows together. We actually have a show this Friday in Glassboro, New Jersey. But we've been making music since my junior year of high school. I'm now a senior in college, so we've been making music for a while. Mm-hmm. Right now I'm in the process of turning that group into more of a business and more of a entertainment company, and we're gonna make it grow and just grow the network really. But I've been making music, writing music, recording music since I'd say consistently since junior year of high school.
Yeah.
Um, right now, I'm about to get my bachelor's degree in music industry in the technology and business concentration. And honestly, I'm just grateful for the connections I've made. So right now, I'm just in the process of really kickstarting my music career.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, man. It's good to hear that you have a group of people too that you kind of work with and everything. And I'm glad to see you got a lot going on. I think even like the whole thing with college, like that's a big thing because a lot of people, it's kind of an industry where you can kind of pick and choose and stuff like that. But to put that extra effort in for the education is like that can even take you even further. You never know where that could lead and everything. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you do with that. And good luck on the show this week and everything. I also read that you produce as well. So like, when did you get into that? Was it pretty much just from like your background in playing instruments? You were like, let me see if I can kind of produce and then be an artist as well. Like, how did you get into that?
The funny thing is, when I was doing instruments and when I got to high school, I was like, man, rappers don't play instruments. I was like, no, I don't want to do this. Like, and then I kind of like, I grew up, I matured, and I was like, man, like, I just wish I still had that skill. I still do, but it's not nearly what I had in high school. Mm-hmm. So like the producing side of things, when I got into producing, it was the summer of, I believe, 2019, and I got my little machine MK3, and I got the machine program, and I just got to work, and I fell in love with it. I knew everything about bars and beats and steps and everything like that. I just didn't know how it correlated to my type of music. You know what I'm saying? So when you play instruments, usually you're playing jazz, you're playing ballads and stuff like that. So it's not really hip hop. It's not really fast paced things. But when you really put it together, it's the same thing, just different types of music. So production came really easy to me. I'm still working on it because I'm still an artist at heart. I like to write music and listen to beats, but making them is a lot of fun. So I'm hoping 2022 I'll step more into that realm.
Now, did you do like Moonlight and your other songs? Was that you, or did you have someone else kind of working on those?
Yeah, no. So, but I used to source my beats from YouTube producers. That one specifically, I've had that beat. I found that beat like 2 years ago, and I was holding that. But I work with specific producers. I don't really discriminate. Like if I find a producer I like, I'll work with them. But I have producers that I'll go to first, look for beats, and if they don't have anything I like, then I'll start outsourcing.
Yeah. Do you ever,
go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, do you ever think you'll be like that guy that has to make all his own stuff? Like, are you ever gonna get to the point where you're like, I kind of want to control the sound, or you're always gonna be looking for different like ideas from other people as well?
I like the inspiration I get from other producers, and when I hear a beat, it's usually me hearing a beat, and I know exactly how I want myself to sound on it. So like, I'll never be like I gotta make my own. I definitely like the idea of making your own sound because you get to encompass everything that comes out of yourself creatively. But when you work with other people and you collaborate, man, the creative ways and the creative energy in the room is just different. So I never say no to that.
Yeah. And that's what music is all about, too. And it's like you always love to get that second opinion from someone else because it's like then you can kind of bounce ideas back and forth and see where the song gets to. I think it always gets to that next level as opposed to just always doing it by yourself. Like if you want to do it every once in a while, it's cool. But then when you work with other people, you just get that elevated level and you just see where you can take it. So I love that. Talk about like the acronym of the name. Like how did the name come about? Like the money is the root of all evil thing. Is there like a distinct meaning behind that, or it just sounded cool? Like, how did you come up with that to be what you led with as an artist?
It's a mixture of both. I made that name when I started writing, when I started recording my own music because I had to release it on SoundCloud. And I needed a name, so I was sitting there in my basement after recording a song. I was like, damn, what am I going to name myself? I was just writing stuff down, thinking of different things, and I wrote money is the root of all evil, and I put it into an acronym, and I was like, yeah, that kind of looks like a name. I don't know what it would sound like, but it looks like a name. I said Mitrae. I went to school. I started showing people. They were like, Mitrae. Everyone started calling me Mitrae. Even people now to this day call me Mitrae. And I had the pronunciation Mitrae. So I showed a couple people. A couple people told me it was stupid. Actually, a lot of people told me it was stupid. my cousin that like was one of my biggest inspirations getting into music told me he didn't like it. It sounded like the name of an EP, and I don't know what it was. It's just like it makes so much sense to me that money is the root of all evil. Like if you think about anybody in this world, whether they have a lot of money or a little bit, they all have money problems. Mm-hmm. Like whether it's taxes, whether it's I gotta get money to go do this marketing thing, which is every artist's problem, every independent artist's problem. So it just made a lot of sense. Everybody can relate to it. Also, it's a Bible verse, so it's a Bible scripture. So it's very well rounded. When I started showing when I grew up and started really being confident about it, a lot of people told me they liked it, and everybody now says they like it. So people and they're like, "Oh, that's very creative" and stuff like that. Yeah. So definitely, I'm happy with the fact that I kept the name.
Yeah. I was going to say, I thought it was like very unique. And even when I went to like your Spotify and I read the backstory, because you have your little bio at the bottom and everything, I read it and I was like, okay, that makes more sense. I don't know if I knew, like if I thought that was your name or what. I just thought it was an artist's name, but I didn't think it was an acronym at first. So then when I found out it was an acronym, I was like, okay, that makes more sense and everything. But I thought it was great. Like I think as long as you're confident like as an artist in it and like you know how to like make that your identity and everything, that's what matters. I think a lot of people like they might have got scared at that when people told them something like that. They might have been like, oh, well, if they said it was dumb, then maybe I should just change it back. Like maybe I should.
Exactly.
But like you just decided you were just going to own it. You know what I mean? And that was going to be your thing. And like I think it's good that you stuck with it because it's definitely something that sets you apart and everything. It's kind of leading off of that then. I'm curious to know is like I think I've asked something similar on the last few episodes about the difference between – you know, someone really loving like what they're doing, especially in like music and art and everything, and really leading into it with passion and the love for it, as opposed to just approaching everything from the money aspect. Like, how do you view that whole thing? Because it is a struggle for everybody. Everybody wants to make money eventually and monetize what they're doing and make a living, hopefully, off their music. But I feel like if you don't love it to start with, it's never going to work out. Like, do you agree with that, or how do you view that?
I agree 1,000% because, like, it's funny that you like. That's a very good question, by the way. That like, it's funny that you say that because I preach to all the people that I do business with that are under me. Like they're like almost my proteges. Like I tell them like, if you don't do this, like it's your passion. Like you used to play basketball, like you when you were a kid, like you used to go outside every day, like. This is just gonna crumble because you don't put enough time and effort. Like we were putting time and effort into school. I still am because I want to get this degree. You have an end goal for something, you'll get to that end goal. You know what I'm saying? So the people that are in it for the fame, for the money, they'll be weeded out very early because they'll get tired of the work that they have to do to get to the point where somebody notices them.
Yeah.
Because people are gonna walk all over what you do for yourself as an artist because they're not seeing the behind the scenes stuff. So I mean, the difference is just you'll see the difference in the excitement for releases. You'll see the difference in how they promote themselves, what they're doing for themselves when they're not touring, when they're not recording in the studio, like. If they're just letting everything go by them and not taking advantage of opportunities and seizing moments, then you could tell that this is not really what they want to do. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What's going on, everyone? Just wanted to take a quick minute out of today's episode to let you guys know about the sponsor for this summer, Kali Audio. Kali Audio has been around since 2018. They've been providing incredible audio products to music creators, producers, artists, pretty much everyone in between. Shout out to Nate Baglios. I actually got in contact with him earlier this year. He's the head of marketing over there, and he hooked me up with some LP8s, which I've been using. Very great audio quality. Really excited to be able to finally have monitors for myself to be able to create, especially being a producer as well. They're going to come in handy. I really recommend you guys go check them out. That's Kali Audio, KALI audio.com. You'll be able to see their full lineup of products. Very affordable, very great build quality as well. I'm very impressed with the LP8s, so I can imagine the LP6s and all the other monitors are very good quality as well. So go check them out, and just wanted to remind you, we have a giveaway coming at the end of the summer in August, where I'll be giving away a pair of the LP8s to one lucky contestant. and I'm looking forward to doing that and gifting the great sounds of Cali audio to someone else, because I think that's a really great thing to have, especially if you don't have monitors or anything. Once again, big shout out to them. Really appreciate them for even getting back in contact with me. So go check them out. But for now, let's get back into the episode. And I think too, like, the people who are in it for the long haul and they want longevity, they're willing to put in the work. You know what I mean? Like you just said, you'll be able to see the difference between that and someone else, even if it's just online. Like, because a lot of people, we don't even know these people in person. You know what I mean? Or we might have never met these people ever. But I think people, like you said, it's like an aura, or like just the energy that they give off. It's like I can kind of tell their head might not be in a place that my head's in or whatever. Like the frequencies don't match. You know what I mean? Something is wrong there, but everybody approaches it how they will, I guess. But I agree with you. I think that, if you want to last, you need to have you need to be rooted in what it is you enjoy. You know what I mean? And like you said, you always got to remind yourself why you're doing it, because if you don't have that, it's never going to work out. And it's just kind of is what it is. But I definitely think with that attitude, people like you will get a long way. And I think you just carrying that message is something that is super important. So thank you for sharing that. So out of all these people you've been working with closely, maybe people you're working on new music with, who right now is somebody that you want to shout out? Maybe it could be a few people that we can be on the lookout for. Maybe you got collabs coming up, or like you said, you got that show Friday. Like who is working very closely with you that is going to be coming up big in the next few months?
I'll definitely shout out my whole group, Chop Boys, King Nappy, Sonny, Re Money. They're all very talented artists, very cool people. And when we're together, the energy is great. So I hope you see a lot more of us together. Mm-hmm. I'll shout out Kaya Clover. She's in the room over there. She makes music too. She's very good at graphic design, and she does hair. She does a lot of stuff. She just, let me see. I shout out John Mez, only John Mez from Bloomfield, New Jersey. He does a lot of stuff for his label, Sloppy Vinyl. MBG Shay. I got a lot of people from Jersey, man. Mm-hmm. A lot of people from Jersey are coming up. Jersey's a very big music state right now. I don't know if you've heard of. Are you familiar with artists that come up from TikTok?
I've been trying to get more into TikTok because I've been lazy. I haven't really been tuned in, but the last few weeks I've been focusing. So. Yeah,
this is an artist from Jersey, Bandman Real. He's making a lot of Jersey club dance songs that are kind of hip hop Jersey club songs, and people on TikTok are getting hip to them. Mm-hmm. So you'll see a lot of Jersey artists coming up in the next few months, years. Man, that's everybody.
Yeah. That kind of leads me perfectly into my next question. It was going to be mostly about what it's been like coming up in New Jersey. I believe that, I'm trying to think, but I think you're the first person from New Jersey I've talked to. I've talked to some New York people, but Jersey seems to kind of get forgotten about in the sauce sometimes. So it's what is that like? You kind of just mentioned it, but what has that been like for you specifically? Have you ever faced any challenges trying to get seen or trying to get heard, or you just don't care about that? How do you approach that being where you're from?
The way it is in Jersey is it was very as a music state, there's a lot of people that make music out of Jersey, and it's very supportive in that terms. You'll never have a problem finding a studio, an event to perform at, people that make music. You'll never not find that in Jersey. It's just the fact that people have egos and they feel like they're bigger than they are, and they can't help the little guy. You know what I'm saying? So I'd just say it's been great being from such a cultured music state. We have such a diverse range of different music that comes from the state. So I love it growing up and trying to make music out of Jersey. I say now it's not really been difficult because, like I said, it's very supportive in terms of resources. So it's never been hard to be an artist in Jersey. It's just definitely trying to grab the home state first is going to be hard. That's the only thing. But the way that the digital age that we're in, you don't necessarily need that. You always have TikTok, you always have Instagram Reels, you always have podcasts like we're doing now. We always have playlists like you got me on in the first place. There's always there's always different routes that you can take to get to where you want to be, and it's just about finding one that sticks.
Yeah, 100%. Now you mentioned Sloppy Vinyl. Now, what is your affiliation with them? Like, are you working for them? Are you working with them? Like, how's that going for you? Because I saw they were in your bio as well on Instagram.
Yeah, so that's a little bit outdated. I did an internship with them for my school courses. I needed an internship, and I met a lot of great connections, a lot of great people through there. They're a small independent label out of Bloomfield, and they have a lot of artists that are on the radar right now. But no, yeah, they gave me my first real experience doing. It wasn't really a tour because it was all around Jersey, so I didn't really have to travel anywhere. We did travel to Chicago for a show, which was pretty dope. But it gave me my real first experience, like doing show after show after show after show and getting prepared and going to the studio making new music and then going to the show performing. So I really liked that whole experience, and then for that being my school internship and then going telling my professors about that, like they fell for that, you know what I'm saying? Like they love that. So it was a great experience. I'm definitely looking for right now. I actually got a job at Live Nation as security, so I'm definitely looking for the bigger steps into the music industry and bigger opportunities. So yeah, no, I don't work for them anymore. Like if they were to hit me for a session and were gonna pay me, yeah, of course I'd work, but I never. I don't affiliate myself with them anymore.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I didn't know. I saw it in there, but I was like, I wonder if he has any stories about it. I am curious.
Oh, yeah, I got good stories.
I was about to say there's probably even more that we could go into, but I do want to know as well. Like you mentioned at the beginning, how you kind of want to eventually make your own brand and your own like label and everything. Do you think you directly learned something in that time with them that's kind of gonna make you? I don't know if I want to say change, but like make differences when you finally do your own thing? Like, did you learn anything from there that you kind of want to apply or maybe do something different when you finally get your own thing going?
Yeah, there's definitely a bunch of things I'm going to apply, and there's definitely a bunch of things I'm not going to use just because of the way I am and the way I want my thing to be. But I learned an immense amount of information about how to run a business, about how to scrape people for like artists, scrape creators that do stuff that you can use and resources that you can hire. I mean, I just learned a lot of things that I didn't know before. I also learned things that I knew. I just never seen them being used. And just having that experience was more than I thought it would be. So I'm grateful for everybody I come across, every experience I have.
Yeah, and that's kind of what you got to do, too. Even the ones that, like, aren't as great, like, you could almost look back at those experiences and be like, at least I learned something, you know what I mean? Even if something wasn't, like, what you thought or what you had planned, it's like it's all part of the big picture. So it's just really how you take it and move forward. And I think when you finally get that going, it's going to be very successful because I can just tell you already have a passion for it and you already have the groundwork is being laid. You know what I mean? It's already happening. So I think it's going to work out great, no doubt. So I don't know if you've ever thought about this next question. This could be in your music or your brand or whatever. You know, whatever you present to people, what do you think your lasting impact is going to be on somebody whenever they hear one of your songs, whenever they see a visual of yours? What do you want them to walk away with at the end of the day?
I've actually always asked myself that question, especially being in this school. This is a very music-driven school. So the classes that I have, the professors that I have, they're always asking us very, like, music industry driven questions, and that was a very music industry driven question. So they would ask their artists that question. So they asked us this question, and I always questioned it up until about last year. Everybody I came across with for the consistent like 7 months told me that I have great energy. And honestly, I realized that that's what I always want, and I've always wanted for people when they listen to my music and hear my name. And when I walk into a room, I just want people to feel good energy, great energy, never negative energy. And if I can accomplish that with my music and performance and just people hearing my voice, that would be great. You know, that would fulfill me. And people coming back and looking for more, looking for relief, for a release for their feelings, you know, anything like that. If they can get that out of my music, that would be amazing.
Yeah, and that starts on a human level too. That's one of those things that has nothing to do with music. You know what I mean? Even if you had never made music a day in your life, if you approach it from that, you know, level, it's like you're gonna you're gonna get that respect. You know what I mean? No matter what, from the right people, and you're gonna attract the right people too. So I think that is something that I admire for sure. So hats off to you for that. What do you
Thank you.
think we can expect in the next like few months? Maybe the summertime, maybe the fall. Like, do you have new music ready, or what are
I've
you
been
working
waiting for
on?
this question. I've been waiting for this question, man.
I just saved it to kind of the end here, so I'm like, I gotta
Yeah.
sneak it in there. But
I got a lot. I just released a song with my school's label, Rowan Music Group. It's on my Spotify profile, all my profiles, but it's called Brown Sugar. It was to highlight Women's History and Black History Month put together, so to represent our Black females. Um, that song I've been working on for a little bit, and I was supposed to be released in February for Black History Month, and then it was supposed to be released in March for Women's History Month. So then that school was just like, yeah, no, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna push it to April. So we dropped it April 8th, and I just said it's gonna be for both. So that one's out, and then I'm having a EP release event in Union City, New Jersey, on May 7th for my new EP coming out under Rowan Music Group. Actually, it's not under Rowan Music Group, but it's for Rowan Music Group. I'm releasing it myself. It's called Peace and Blessings. It's going to have about 4 to 5 tracks on there, all new except for Peace of Mind. I believe you heard that one too.
yeah,
I don't know if you got.
I was actually just listening to it a couple days ago because I had to refresh. I'm like, I gotta go check it out again. But
It's what's up. Yeah, no. So all new tracks will be on there. I'm excited, man. I haven't released a good amount of new music for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping to stay consistent. But now, yeah, after that, this summer, I'm hoping to drop at least 3 singles with my group, like I was telling you this summer, and also drop some singles with myself. It's going to be a good year.
Mm-hmm.
I believe so.
Yeah, love it, man. Got a lot going on. You got to stay busy for sure. Last few
Right.
questions here. These are questions I ask on every episode. And the first one is, if you could go back 10 years ago, maybe give yourself a piece of advice or maybe not change anything at all, what do you think you would do?
Well, I'm not very old now. I'm 21. So 10 years, I was 11, about to be 12. That's a young. I would honestly just tell him, yo, like, whatever you really want to do. Because at the time I didn't want to. When I was 12, I definitely didn't want to do music. My parents put me in music, and I was like, I guess I got to play this instrument, whatever, we'll do it. So I wanted to do basketball or football, and I was just like, I know I can do this. Everyone's telling me I can't. I was a little chubby kid when I was, you know what I mean? So, but I was very good at basketball. Everyone was very surprised with my athletic ability. I've always been an athlete. So I tell myself, just whatever you want to do, just stick to it and don't stop. Like, whatever you want to do, and don't be scared to tell anybody that you want to do that either, because I was very self-conscious that I wanted to. My whole family is doctors. My mom's a doctor. My dad's a doctor. My brother just became a doctor. My sister's just about to become a doctor. So I'm the black sheep. I'm the one that took the path less taken, you know what I'm saying? So I would tell myself, just stick to your roots, like stick to what you want to do, and don't quit.
Mm-hmm. So if we flip that question then and we say 10 years from now, where do you think you envision yourself in your life and your career?
That's a harder question because you never know what's coming.
Yeah.
And I'd say I definitely think I'm progressing 10 years from now and an immense amount, because now, back then, 10 years ago, I obviously didn't know what I wanted to do. But now that I know what I want to do and I know how I want to go about it, everything should happen faster and everything should click in place. And I'm not in a rush either, because I know these things take time. So that's the biggest thing. I know when I first started this, my goal was to become a millionaire by 21. I told everybody that. I was like, I'm going to become a millionaire by 21. And the thing is, that sounded cool, but it was not very realistic because I didn't know how to do anything. I was just a very ambitious kid. So now that I know how to do stuff, I know how things work, I know how the real world works. Like, things can work in my favor, and I can make them work in my favor, and I can manipulate different things. So I definitely would see myself doing what I want to do, or at least starting to push towards my end goal.
Love that, man. So do you have any final words of wisdom today for the listeners?
If you're an artist, just stick to the type of music that makes you happy, that makes you feel good. Don't fold into the pressure of making music that the labels want to hear, or people want to hear. If you're trying to get signed by a label, just work hard every day. Just put everything into it, and you have to spend money on. You have to spend the same amount, if not more, money on your marketing than you spend on recording and music videos. Mm-hmm. That's the biggest key I learned in anything throughout my time at this school, was that marketing is just as important, if not 10 times more important, than recording and your actual content.
Exactly, man. And I think investing in yourself is the biggest investment you can make. So that's how you got to view it all. You know what I mean? You got to view it all as just investing in yourself in the long term and just seeing what happens. So I think you got that, man, planned out well. And that's all I have for you today, man. I appreciate you joining me. I'm wishing you luck on the music, everything you got coming up, man, because I can tell you're just very ambitious. You got a lot of great stuff coming up, and it's going to be great to see it all unfold, man. So I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, man. And I wish you the best of luck as well, and I'm glad we made this connection.
Thanks, everyone, for listening today. That was episode 103. We'll be back this time next week. As always, hit the support button on your podcast streaming platform if you'd like to send any funds, and feel free to leave us that 5-star rating if you enjoyed today's episode. So we'll see you then. Thanks, guys.